The Tennessee Titans have a top 5 wide receiving core in the NFL. And if you don't believe me, just stay tuned. Hey, Titans fans, Titan Uprising here. Thank you for tuning in. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. I'm almost to 500 subscribers. If you guys can, please make that happen. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, comment down below. I love the comments, whether they're good or they're bad. We're all Titans fans here, so if you have a different opinion, that's okay. That's what we're here for. At the end of the day, we want the Titans to win the Super Bowl. But let's get into why I think this is a top 5 receiving core in the National Football League. Now, the Titans' top 4 wide receivers are DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd, and Treylon Burks. Now, anytime your number 4 wide receiver is a former first-round pick just from a few seasons ago, I think you're doing okay. This receiving core, I expect big things out of them this year, and I expect big things out of the offense as a whole, and I expect Will Levis to benefit greatly because of these wide receivers. Now, let me break down the 2023 stats for these 4 guys, and I'll kind of get into some things built off of those stats. Now, let's get into, first, DeAndre Hopkins. He played in all 17 games last year. He had 75 catches on 137 targets, and he amassed 1,057 yards and 7 touchdowns. 48 of those catches were for first downs, and he had a long reception of 61 yards. Now, Hopkins' last 2 years in Arizona, he missed 14 games, but he played all of last year, and from 2013 to 2020, he missed only 2 games. So a lot of people were knocking the Titans last year when they got Hopkins, saying, oh, you overpaid, which I don't think they overpaid at all on a 2-year deal. You overpaid, and he's going to be hurt all the time. He didn't play all the games he could in Arizona. Like I said, missed 14 games in his last 2 years in Arizona. And that was the knock on him. He's hurt. But I think he squashed that last year as he played all 17 games, and he had a 1,000-yard season. And he proved to be one of the more dominant wide receivers in the NFL. He might not be top 5 anymore, but I would say he's top 15, top 10. I mean, he's a 1,000-yard wide receiver. They don't grow on trees, and there isn't 50 of them every year. There's probably around 15. So, yes, Hopkins is a wide receiver 1, squash all the injury bug stuff, and that he's hurt all the time. He played all of last year and posted 1,000 yards. End of story. Now, let's get into Calvin Ridley. He played in all 17 games as well last year and had 76 catches on 136 targets for 1,016 yards and 8 touchdowns. 49 of his 76 catches were for first downs, and he had a long reception of 59 yards. Now, playing in all 17 games after coming off of a year-long suspension and posting a 1,000-yard season is really impressive, because I think you could argue that he was just catching his footing last year with his first year coming back, and that he's going to be even better this year. I mean, he knocked all the rust off. And a 1,000-yard season right off the bat, and he could have done better. I mean, Lawrence messed up quite a bit last year. I mean, 76 catches on 136 targets. Yeah, he might have had some drops here and there, but Lawrence also missed them too. So he could have had double-digit touchdowns and more yards. There's a lot left on the plate for Calvin Ridley. Now let's get into Tyler Boyd. Now, I consider Tyler Boyd to be the wide receiver 3 because Burks has struggled, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But I consider Boyd to be the wide receiver 3 on this team right now. Tyler Boyd also played in all 17 games last year. And if you guys want to just, store that tidbit there, I'm coming back to that all 17 games. That's one of the things I'm taking away from this, okay? So Tyler Boyd also played in all 17 games last year. He compiled 67 catches on 98 targets for 667 yards and 2 touchdowns. 28 of those catches were for first downs, and he had a long reception of 64. I'm also going to have a theme with that as well. Now, since 2019, Boyd has missed only 2 NFL games. That's insane. Boyd is always on the field, and he is consistent as it gets. You need a guy like that on your team. You need a guy that's consistent, that will get first downs, that will get open. He's going to be always out there. I mean, 2 games since 2019. That's all he's missed. Boyd was a huge pickup. Huge. Now let's get into Treylon Burks here. Now, we will lose the theme here of everybody playing in all of the games last year when we get to Burks. So he played in 11 games last year, and he had 16 catches on 30 targets for 221 yards, and he did not record a touchdown. He had a long reception of 70 yards, though, which is impressive. 8 of his 16 catches were for first downs, so half of his catches were for first downs. Now, Burks has had a rough first 2 years in the league. There's no doubt about it. He played in 11 games each year, and he's missed a good amount of time. That's, one of the reasons why the Titans went out and got wide receivers, because can't count on Burks right now. And, but he's shown flashes. And if he enters the season as a Titans number 4 wide receiver, I can't think of a number 4 wide receiver in the NFL who will have more upside and potential than Burks. Think of all the NFL teams right now and tell me whose number 4 wide receiver has more upside and potential than Treylon Burks. I can't. I think this is one of the top wide receiving cores in the NFL. Even Tyreek Hill was impressed with the wide receiver core. Don't sleep on this crew, guys. But Burks, he needs to stay on the field, and he's going to have 3 proven vets to learn from. And that is going to be huge for his development as well. Now, there are a few things that I take away from this unit and what this will mean for Will Levis. One important thing is that these guys, minus Burks, will all stay on the field. And remember, I told you guys to, store that tidbit for later on, because Hopkins, Ridley, and Boyd, they all played in every single game last year. They were on the field. The Titans have had plenty of injury problems in recent years, and these guys staying on the field is just so big for this team. Staying on the field will also help them build chemistry with Will Levis. And I really expect this group to take off in the middle of the season, and they're going to be able to take off because they're consistently on the field together, growing together, playing together. And this is just, I can't understate this at all or overstate it, sorry. These guys, healthy on the field, man, us Titans fans know what the injury bug has been like the past couple of seasons, so we will take it all day long. Hopefully it happens across the board with every freaking wide receiver, every position group we have other than just wide receiver. We need guys on the field staying healthy. Now, another thing I take away from this is the Titans have 2 1,000-yard wide receivers from last year in Hopkins and Ridley. There are 6 teams who will boast 2 1,000-yard wide receivers from last year. And those teams are the Dolphins, the Texans, the Buccaneers, the Bears, the Eagles, and the Titans. You can throw the Niners in if you want to, but Kittle's a tight end, so I don't count that. 4 of those 6 teams made the playoffs last year. The 2 who didn't, Titans and Bears, they just acquired one of their 2,000-yard wide receivers in the offseason. Now, I'm not saying you have to have 2 1,000-yard wide receivers and that you're guaranteed playoffs if you do have 2 1,000-yard wide receivers, but it does give you a hell of a good chance. And having 2 great wide receivers who are also vets are going to help out Levis tremendously and truly give defenses headaches. You can't double team Hopkins and Ridley, and if you focus on those 2 solely, then you leave Boyd open, who has been nothing but consistent every year since he's been in the National Football League. Now, Boyd also being a vet and knowing a good portion of the offense that Kelly is going to install is tremendous. The value of Boyd is just tremendous. He can help out the other wide receivers learn this offense, and most importantly, help Levis. That's a theme here. We need to help Levis. He needs to grow. Levis has 3 vets who will help guide him, just like Burks. Burks being the number 4, I think will truly help his development, not rush him back out there and put too much on him. Remember that this guy was asked to carry the load his rookie year, And that was a lot to ask, especially when he was supposed to fill A.J. Brown's shoes. There was a lot of pressure on him right away, and this will be more suitable for him, I think. Burks has shown flashes, but he needs to stay healthy, and a good staff and quarterback will help him out with this. These guys, this team is going to learn from these vets, and you're 1A and you're 1B there with Hopkins and Ridley. That's just insane. Another big thing I take away from this group is their explosiveness. Levis has one of the biggest arms in the NFL, and his top 4 wide receivers, which are, I'll go through it again, Hopkins, Ridley, Boyd, and Burks, had long receptions last year of 70, 64, 61, and 59. With the improved offensive line and the plethora of wide receivers, Levis is going to be able to uncork some balls this year and showcase that freaking arm strength that he has. 70, 64, 61, and 59. Those are big chunk plays, guys. I expect to see plenty of shots downfield, and this offense will have the capability to score at any given moment in the game and from anywhere. The part I expect to see the most change in this team, in this offense, is the 2-minute offense. How many times have us Titans fans seen the Titans not be aggressive in the second quarter with just under 2 minutes to go? They would run in hopes to get a first down, and then maybe they'll try to get some points, maybe kick a field goal. But most of the time, they just end up punting or running the clock out. How many times, or how many teams, I should say, fear good offenses with less than 2 minutes before the half? When the Chiefs get the ball with 47 seconds left, no timeouts, and they're on their own 20-yard line, you legitimately think they have a chance to score. Now, I'm not saying the Titans are the Chiefs, and they will be the Chiefs. I'm just saying they won't be the old Titans. They will actually attack defenses, and they're going to push the ball down the field. Now, one thing I thought was pretty cool here was that DeAndre Hopkins had a presser, and I did post a short of that if you guys want to check that out. He had a lot to say about the new offense, and I took this clip and some others and posted them together. But one of the things Hopkins said was the first day they put in the offense, they put in a double move. And he said that this is the first time since he's been playing football that the first day there was some kind of intricacy in the offense like that. And he said it was really cool to see. Hopkins also said that this is one of the best wide receiver groups he has played with on paper. Now, that's on paper, obviously. They have to go out there and they have to prove it. Now, I expect big things from this offense, and the days of the Tennessee Titans being a run, pass, punt offense are finally behind them. The Titans are now with the times, and I think this offense is going to be electric and explosive this year. And I'm doing position groups during the offseason. I really wanted to hit wide receivers first. I will be doing every position group, offense and defense, throughout the offseason. But guys, let me know what you think down below. Are you excited for this wide receiver core? Because I am. And like I said, this is a top 5 wide receiver core. Book it. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. And as always, tighten up.